Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Astrology and Beyond. Today, with your host, Tatiana, also broadcasting for ANN Archetypal News Network. And today, I'm going to talk about the upcoming lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 17th, which is tomorrow, Tuesday. So, very powerful times. And whenever an eclipse happens, there is going to be it's like an expanded full moon in this case. So usually full moons are times where we see certain themes very clearly. They're brought to the light. It's the apex of some kind of cycle or some revelation. So this lunar eclipse will be bringing a lot of emotion, and we'll talk about that in a bit. And so essentially what a lunar eclipse is when the sun is here and the moon is here and the earth is in the middle. So the sun's trying to shine its light to brighten up the moon, which usually happens, but when the earth is in the middle, then the light doesn't come. So it's almost as though the themes of the part that's getting eclipsed are going to be almost like more felt or released or needed to really be addressed. And then so these themes kind of lose power because they need release, and the themes that are more on the side of the sun are the themes that will be more encouraged to be moving towards. Now, the eclipse also happens, it's a full moon essentially, but it happens close to the nodes of the moon. So within like 16 degrees. So in this case, it's not a total eclipse, it's a partial eclipse because it's not very, very close to the node. And the eclipse happens in the sign of Pisces, even though the nodes are in Aries and Libra. So just a little side technical note, but let's move on. That's very technical. Let's move on to what all this all means, because that's what you're here for. Okay. So this is also a north node lunar eclipse because it's closer to the north node of the moon right now, which is in Aries. So in general, this represents like growth and destiny and emotional breakthroughs, but that come with certain endings. So in order to signify like a new beginning of sorts, uh we need to first close a cycle and release the patterns or the things that are being revealed in a certain sense that are no longer helping us progress. So there might be some destined events that you cannot, they just happen, for you. And again, this doesn't just happen on the day of the eclipse. It's not like, oh, Tuesday everything happens. No. These themes have been kind of coming, and the effects of eclipses usually last also for 6 months. And we have the effects of the previous eclipse lasting for 6 months. So it's like this cyclical thing that eclipse season just moves in these cycles of 6 months of themes and themes evolving, right? That's how kind of we evolve as well. Remember that eclipses are these portals or points of evolutionary pushes. So we release something so we can move towards something, and we release something so we can keep evolving. So that's essentially why eclipses feel sometimes, and depending on your chart, obviously, some people might feel this really strongly and other people might not feel it as strongly, depending on your own personal birth chart. So there could also be some emotional realizations happening through this eclipse. And because it's a lunar eclipse, not a solar eclipse. So they are usually very emotionally charged. And when they're aligned with the North Node, they can bring profound insight and breakthroughs about what you need to nurture for your future development. So there's going to be some themes that are going to be looked at and seeing, okay, if this is no longer what represents my true self, my true identity, and then there's going to be lots of emotions coming in particular with this eclipse, and I'll tell you why. This might be like, just get your tissue box because you might be having a lot of stuff coming up. This also means stepping out of the comfort zone because there might be new things that want to emerge, after the releases or the karmic closings of things, so that we can really progress. But sometimes the progression towards something new might feel unknown and scary, and sometimes that might get us to doubt whether or not we are in the right path. So we need to trust that whatever is coming up for us right now, through destined events almost, or through things that we feel might be happening for us, it's all for the better. Everything that is moving forward at this time is for the better, because the things that we need to release need to be released so that we can move forward, and then we'll understand why it's for the better. uh there might be also like an increased awareness of your life purpose. um and sometimes it has to do with like soul mission as well. When you really align with who you are through these portals or eclipses, there might be opportunities to really tap in back into what am I here for. And that might point us in directions that support our soul growth much more than we might think with our little limited mind or ego. It's a time to release limiting beliefs. Definitely. This eclipse might bring you opportunities to heal past behaviors, beliefs, or things that have blocked you in the highest expression of who you are. And this is a time to revisit that. And that can come with, again, a lot of emotional upheaval. Uh, and this lunar eclipse also promotes, uh, highlights how you can connect your highest potential. So you will might have inspirations come from out of the freaking blue after the sometimes crisis points, because eclipses usually are associated with some kind of crisis in a sense, because and the energy that is eclipsed is almost like it loses all its power. So that energy gets like boom, dimmed down, and it's almost like we're lost, like we don't understand. But we're highlighting also the other energy at the other side of the eclipse, which is the Virgo energy, which is in this case like what's more realistic and how we can make things tangible and happening here in on this plane. And the things that might also be needing to be released or addressed or looked at are the themes associated with where the moon is at, the Pisces realm, which is all the endings, is the closure of all the thing. It has to do with karmic contracts. It has to do with the collective unconscious. It has to do with patterns and things that are more in a field of consciousness that the field itself is wanting to release, so that we as humanity can move on with new things, and new things that are going to propel our evolution as spirits, as spiritual beings embodied in physical bodies, and as spiritual beings embodied within a collective of other beings embodied, if you know what I mean. So there's huge evolutionary points happening right now. And this is really important to release those beliefs so we can align with our true selves. So this is very important because we need to align with what brings us true and authentic joy. Joy in our lives. If we're not joyful and we're still doing things through pattern beliefs, and we've been moving through these for like a few months already. I've been talking about this like on and on and on and on. And it's like, it seems like to be the theme and the theme and the theme. But this is how life moves, right? It's a spiral. We're always releasing the next thing that doesn't help our evolution. So when we start feeling not happy, not fulfilled, chances are there's so much information that's locked in our body, our cellular memory, our family lineages, is so much that the society has conditioned us, that our beautiful light that could shine, that says this is who you are and what you're meant to be doing, is very dim. So at this time we'll be probably able to see and notice by the contrast of that light being so dim, and the upheaval that can bring emotionally, that we can truly connect. Okay, so this is me, by contrast of what is not me, so that's going to be something that will also come up, and we're getting ready to prepare for a different future. So the turning points, eclipses are always like turning points that set stages for future developments. So it's a great moment also to see, okay, if I'm releasing things, I'm uncertain, especially with relationships, and we'll talk about the quality of this eclipse and why this one in particular has a lot to do with relationships. It's sponsored by a Venus Pluto square. So this is where I'm going to share a little bit the chart so we can see now the ins and outs of this eclipse and how it will play out because of the qualities of the connections between planets and the archetypal nature of thereof. Oh, what happened? Am I small? I hope you can see the. Okay, I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out this new Zoom version. They don't allow me to make myself big. Okay. All right, I'll just be small. I'm gonna be here. All right. So talked about in general an eclipse, a lunar eclipse. So you see the Earth here, Sun here, Moon here, and this is what the eclipse is. It's close to the node. So this is why I was saying that this eclipse is close to the North Node. So it's a North Node eclipse, but it's in Pisces. We saw this at 25 degrees and 40 minutes. Now, particulars of this eclipse. It's conjunct Neptune. So this is where we're going to talk about the archetypal meanings of the planetary energies, which are so potent. So this eclipse is actually hosted by Neptune. So if we talk modern astrology, where the modern ruler of Pisces is Neptune, we could really be diving into Neptune being the ruler of this eclipse. The old ruler, I mean the ancient ruler before modern astrology, was Jupiter. So this eclipse is hosted by these two planets. So what this means, and if we take the Neptune as the ruler, it means that everything we're going to be experiencing through this eclipse comes through the filter of this collective consciousness, spiritual awakening, sensitivity to everything. Like the veil is thin, like everything gets so confusing because this energy is also diminishing, that you can feel that there's so much confusion around like what's to come. And what's really important is to trust the amazing amount of connection and connectivity that the moon and Neptune bring. So I'm going to uh read you a little bit of one of my favorite books, The Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler. So I want to read you a little bit about Moon Neptune connections and then what it means to have the sun. So Moon Neptune, an open and receptive soul, a rich inner world and imagination, natural kindness and compassion, intuition and sensitivity towards others, the sacralization of everyday life. So that is when we have Moon Neptune connections. Now, this energy is the energy that will have to go through the crisis so we can see how to access the best of that connection, the best of being awakened to what it means to be connected to all that is, to have deep compassion for others. And again, this might come through crisis points, right? Because we are not in spirit, we are in matter, and Virgo is almost like it's the organizational principle of spirit in matter here. So it's almost how we have been attached to what things that could be being released is the attachments to illusions and unrealistic illusions, to escapism, to trying to escape being in a body, being in the earthly experience, because it's difficult. So we're trying to move away from the martyrdom, experience of the absolute like moon Neptune, I want to save the whole world and the little animal, which is the excess of being like, it's almost like the victim consciousness that we need to sacrifice, is the sacrificial energy, or even the, yes, the illusions that we need to leave this earth, that's there's something always better there. And what we need to understand is that being grounded, when we bring our awareness, our consciousness, our spirituality, our connection of source, and we embody it in this body, in the everyday life, in the everyday things, and we're grounded, then it's when spirit can truly act through us. But the only way is to notice and realize, how have we not been connected? How have we been disconnected from our true essence? And that may come up. How have we been disconnected from our true essence? And we might get some reality checks as well. Um, so, mm, maybe Neptune. So, other themes that will come with this is like the emotions and the sensitivity might be so heightened because Moon Neptune opens up that porosity towards the other side, the feeling, that connectedness that is with everything. This is why there's so much compassion, so much soul in Moon Neptune. Um, and there could be like intuition coming up as well. It's almost a connection to the great mother, I would say. Um, and this is why we might have a feeling that everything is kind of dreamy, confusing, that we don't notice where we're going. And and the line between reality and illusion can be kind of blurry. So it's important to also be able to be very present and embodied in order not to, again, want to escape, because the nature of this dreaminess, which is great for art, by the way, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but sometimes escapism is one thing, and then dreaming is something very different. It's really awesome to dream, but what are dreams if we can't really bring them down and embody them and feel them? If we are with our heads in the clouds all day long, just dreaming of being outside of this earth, then why did we incarnate? This is your Virgo talking here, Trust me, I have a natal Moon Neptune connection, so I know all about wanting to escape to a dreamland and magic worlds. But the good news is that the dreamland and magic worlds can be brought here to this planet by connecting to soul, you see? So that's the whole point. We might have also some revelations of hidden truths, because the lunar eclipses are often will bring endings or closures. And these endings and closures come with revelations of things that were really important, of how or why something was out of alignment. And then the hidden emotions behind the misalignments will come to the front, the secrets, unconscious patterns. Like, so there's an urge for introspection and emotional release. And so this is why I say bring your Kleenex box and just cry, release it, open it up, talk it out, cry it out as much as you can, so you can release that from the entrapment of your cells. There's also a big possibility of spiritual awakening through these releases, because Neptune connected to the moon also can prompt that awakening feeling. That is, it could even give us this sensation of being connected to something so much higher, especially because Neptune is in contact with Uranus and with Pluto. And I will be discussing this small triangle here, uh, and the kite actually that is forming through this eclipse a little bit more in detail in another video, because this is a topic all in itself. But this contact of Neptune with Uranus and Pluto, it's just, again, is this higher awakening of the collective consciousness. So it's not a personal thing. So this is why very empathic people might be also feeling so deeply connected with the issues of the world. And if you get depressed or emotional for no reason, chances are you are feeling the field. You're feeling the field, and the field is wanting to release a lot of the old patriarchal structures that have limited the freedom, that have limited the expression of joy, that have limited the expression of the feminine. And the feminine, I don't mean women, I mean the feminine or the yin energy. And the yin energy is this field of openness and creation and space. It's the container. It's the space in between. It's not the do, go, 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 you know. It's not the yang going, you know. It's the yin, it's the reception. And this eclipse will definitely have that into question. Like, how have we been doing relationships that have not fostered the space, the truth, the authenticity, the kindness, but have been controlling, manipulative? Like, where is there still these dangerous dynamics that have kept us under oppressive feelings that we cannot be free, that we can't connect to our true desires and soul because we are somehow under some heavier controlling mechanisms? So there might be big spiritual awakenings around that. Big, 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 big realizations that we are free because we are soul, because we are spirit. The body is an illusion and we're not trapped in a body. The body is a fantastic vessel for expression of the divine. And this is what a lot of people are going to be like, ah, that's what it is. I'm not a prisoner of an earthly, ego driven realm. So take that with a grain of salt. Everything I say is just coming through. So, like I said before, beware of escapism versus reality, right? Because this energy can lead to a lot of wanting to leave because the pain is too much, or wanting to, evade evasion. So beware of any kind of substances, drugs, or anything that really gets you out of your body at this moment. Not a good idea. Maybe in other moments for those who need it, great, especially like certain therapies. But at this time, I think the what's going to be more important is to be very grounded. So doing exercises that ground your energy, like breathing and feeling the lower belly and the first chakra, for those who understands chakras. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't mind it. Just focus the energy on your lower belly and your feet and your legs. And when you breathe, just imagine or visualize or intend that that energy is coming, that something, a light or an energy or something is really grounding you. Or imagine roots are coming out of your feet, they're grounding you and connecting you to the earth. That's a little practice you can do, very simple, every morning, 2 minutes, not even five, just a few deep breaths, and or even say out loud, I am connected to Mother Earth, deeply connected to, and the intention just makes that happen. Why? Because your body, this embodied vessel, is what this is the housing. I mean, it's more like we are in the soul, but another discussion for another day. But let's say your soul essence moves through this embodied, moves through your body, moves through your cells. So escaping it is just, we might as well be dead, right? So be careful with the the excessive fantasy, in the mind of all that could be, and then you're not here, you're not present. So great practice presence. It's a good time also to let go of illusions. So what is an illusion? An illusion is, again, it's a mirror. It's a smoking mirror, right? Right? Something we thought to be true and real and tangible, and an illusion it's in the realm of an ideal, but it's not here in the real life. And sometimes we are very connected to illusions and we're not present in the expression or the experience of life, which is, again, the experiencer is the yin. I know this is going to sound crazy, but the yin or the feminine energy is not the goal or the achievement, is the experience of process of life. which means we are connected to the experience of the here and now. And the glory of being here and now is recognizing that the divine is everywhere, here and now. Here and now. So when we connect to that, when we connect to those energies, to those feelings, we are in the process of being alive. When we are in the illusion, in the mind, the things that we wish we had, the ideal things, it's all over there. And then life goes by. Life is what happens to you when you're too busy dreaming, right? Does it mean dreaming is wrong? No, absolutely not. But dreaming has a small place, it's like, or a place, I wouldn't say a small place, has its place. Dreaming is where we formulate the ideas, where we download and channel. Oh, okay, this can happen. But then we need to go into the action portion, which is how do we live out those ideas by taking actions that form those realities. Otherwise, we'll be always complaining. So, so that's part of like the illusion. And which are the illusions that you have been holding on to that were completely unrealistic, and um and that they're not helping you evolve? So it's a time to release the illusions that were really not aligned with who you are, your path, and what you can actually become and achieve in this life that will be fulfilling. Because fulfillment is the divine wants us fulfilled. You know, the ego and the controlling structures are the ones that might squish that fulfillment, but the divine would never, never, ever, ever not want the fulfillment of each of its consciousness, embodied consciousnesses. So that's that. It's important to also balance the practical aspects of life with the compassion. So we need to ground uh our empathy and our intuition into actually realistic actions. So this is why uh w- it's like, if we talk about being good, but we'd never do a good action towards somebody, then that's just empty talk. So this is where we can start doing things that are helping the collective, that are selfless, right? And this part of the eclipse is noticing what is selflessness without being a victim, or without being so basically it's being unconditionally loving in doing what you do every day with people and with everything around you, not just people, animals, plants, things, everything, right? Situations is what does it mean to be unconditionally loving? And let's not forget, what is it to be unconditionally loving towards yourself as well? Because this is where the danger of the slippery slope comes. Is, oh, I am so selfless. I'm all about service. So you serve and help others, and in the meantime, you're sick, you're ill, you don't give yourself any love or any compassion. You're always doing outside yourself. Then that is the shadow. That is the shadow side that we want to release. The divine does not does not operate like that. Everything is loved, and first and foremost, you are loved. So recognizing how much love do you have for yourself? This is a big question, because we cannot give what we don't have. Right? Or we give it, but then at the expense of what, right? So fill your cup. Fill your cup first. Fill it with love, with joy, with the unending energy of source, is what I'm saying. So this is why connecting to source energy is so important. Again, ways to do that if you're not sure how: breath, being in nature, contemplation, meditation, just tuning into the heart for a few minutes. That connects you. Art, what most beautiful expression than connecting to source through art? And you might say, oh, well, I'm not an artist, you might say, oh, I don't know how to do that, but it doesn't matter. Just make, everybody can doodle. You could doodle, you could write something, allow the inspiration to come, and just do automatic writing. And you don't have to be a writer. Get a little color set, paint a little bit. What else could you do? Oh, put a song. Sing in the shower. Nobody needs to hear you. You know what I mean? You don't need to think that you're like some kind of need to be some kind of gifted artist in order to experience the connection to the artistic practices. Everybody can do them. We all have the capacity, and feeling that you have the divine right to express yourself in artistic ways. And this is something that, for instance, I am very passionate about, is providing spaces for people to find that. That's part of my job here on earth, but if you don't know how to do that, again, just do the simple things, like, oh, I haven't, take a little, something, a couple colors. Like when you were a child, there was this free exploration that we kind of lost. So that is also something that we could do. Another possibility at this time with this eclipse is where you might have like vivid dreams, psychic insights, things waking up that you might go, oh my God, am I going crazy? Because Neptune conjunct the moon can bring a lot of sensitivity towards the field. And you might have insights that you're like, what is happening? Spiritual messages. So pay attention, pay close attention to your dreams, because you might find valuable guidance in there. Um, so dream journal, very awesome at this time. There's also with this eclipse, there might be need for some healing of the emotional nature. So uh healing our emotions. That means looking back to our childhood, to how we were parented, to the difficult things that we had to live through in life. So taking the time to do these things is going to be very positive in the evolution. Otherwise, what happens when we don't take the time? And this is why I make this video. So I tell you what things you can do, and it's ultimately your choice. But taking that time to go within, journal, get in touch with those parts, those emotions that are still stuck in your body. And chances are that these emotions that are stuck in your body show up as ailments, issues, injuries, you name it. So I recommend looking up Louise Hay and the meaning of the body and what an ailment represents in your body, because chances are your body is speaking really loudly and saying, oh, this is what's happening, and I have not paid attention to these emotions. I've brushed them under the rug. So when these eclipses happen, especially with the moon and Neptune, and we're connected to much deeper things that are trans incarnatory, transgenerational, this is like where we unlock the DNA, where so much information has been stored in our DNA, and there's science behind this. I don't have exactly all the ins and outs, but there is science behind this, where we are like USB storages of information, um of quantum information, of transgenerational, transincarnatory, soul information. There's so much information locked in our physical body. And this is the time where this goes, it just unlocks. So if we brush it down and we keep pushing it off, then chances are we just get more present to the discomfort, or what we call illness. But an illness is nothing other than just the body saying, hello, pay attention. We want to move some energy that's all this time. And that's what healing is. Healing is just that. It's just moving the information that's stored. There's absolutely no shame in that either. So, yay to healing. Boundaries and discernment, another issue that can come up here, because Neptune dissolves the boundaries, and then the potential for confusion, susceptibility, getting lost in dimensional fields. This is why, please, 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 at this time, avoid anything that takes you out of your body, because, oh my gosh, the realm of the beyond is much bigger and much mysterious than we can ever think. And for those who are slightly psychic or very psychic, you know what I'm talking about. If you're empaths and you are connected to different astral realms and things like that, you know what that is. When somebody has a bad trip and you think, oh, it's all in my mind. Well, these are dimensional fields that actually exist in thought form. And 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 this is what we want to try and be very present and conscious about, is what is our frequency aligning to, so that we can be very focused on what serves us and what's evolve us and what's connected to love and excitement and beauty and joy, and everything is divine, including the darkness. But what I'm saying is that this is why, when there's a blurriness between worlds, even, we need to be even more present to know, to have a very clear energetic hygiene. And by this I mean, are you aware of the connections you make every day and how you're connected to everything? The emotions that come towards you. Let's say you connect to a toxic relationship, and then, you know, and that's always in your field, or you're picking up on somebody's frustrations and angers, and let alone the world is in chaos. I mean, a lot of the world, not my world necessarily. I mean, parts of it, but the planet with the wars and the political arena and all that stuff that's going on, and all of that has a heightened charge of emotion. And guess what? You might start picking more on that emotion, even if you've never been like a sensitive. You might start feeling things and going, oh my God, what's happening to me? What's happening to me? I'm going crazy. So instead of thinking I'm going crazy, it's like, let all that go, because this is part of the dark night of the soul that might be happening for many people. Before the awakening comes the dark night of the soul. So just know that the hero's journey is not the hero's journey without the dragon slaying and all that stuff. Uh, without the part where you have to confront all your inner demons. Is that right? That's the way it is. So, next important thing that's happening. So, this is a little bit of a long video because I'm going through these themes, because all these themes are going to be part of the next, also the next cycle. um so the next thing is that Jupiter is in a trine with Venus, and Venus is in a forming square to Pluto. Now, this highlights Venus quite a bit during this eclipse in two ways. And this is like good news, Jupiter Venus. Great news, because the Jupiter Venus enhances this trine enhances like the pleasant interactions, optimism. It's a great time for like connecting to maybe even new people, having great conversations, having, it's like when you meet that one person that really enlivens you, and then there's a lot of generosity and love in the air. So there is a great opportunity to express kindness, kindness, and to be open-hearted, and share good times. Just have fun and receive the abundance of life. This is great. So there's immense opportunity for growth in relationships. So the trine creates this expansion, so that we can grow and maybe make new connections, find new inspirations so there's just like these big opportunities coming up as well. So the connections we might make at this time might be extremely exciting and give us a lot of opportunity for thought and exchange and conversation. So communication is enhanced, like valuable communication, not just empty communication, but just things that make you feel good about life. um so there might also be some luck coming through love and finances. So this is also a good time to see and go, okay, make a little note of how have you been loving yourself, and what do you value about yourself so much, and your skills, that these skills are worth their weight in gold, and this is a good time to take stock of that. And if your finances are low, or chances are your self-worth has been low, so let's work on that and not be ashamed of that. The lack of consciousness is a thing that is permeating our whole collective. It's not just, you might be here and go like, oh yeah, we're all in this, like, oh, not everybody, but lots of people still live in the lack, or the lack consciousness, that even when we live in abundance, we still feel the fear that we're going to lose it. And I'm one of these people, by the way, Chiron in Taurus, yay, one of the people that has to work through this. And even this morning, I was working with a beautiful client of mine, and the theme just came up. It's about where that lack consciousness originated. And sometimes it was just our parents, our grandparents, our great grandparents, people of the previous generations didn't have a choice. Most people didn't have a choice. It's like, you gotta get married. You get married. That's all you have to do. Like, but I wanted to go to school. No, many women couldn't even do that in like three generations ago. It's like you did what you needed to do because that's what you do. You're a wife, you do this, you do that. So that's women. Many men didn't have a choice. They had to go to war because that's what it was. You sign up, you're in the army, they take you away. Like, people were just surviving. And we've had this for like centuries and centuries. And I'm not saying everybody, but a large population. So choice was not much of a thing. So the consciousness we're trying to heal as a consciousness of our DNA, of our family trees, is this lack consciousness, this that you have to work really hard in order to achieve what you have, and then keep it, really hoard it, because then it could go away or somebody can take it. But we're moving away from that. We are moving into uh we are moving into acknowledging that the divine is endless source of abundance. It's endless, and there is for everybody. So shifting and repatterning. So I was giving this exercise of saying this mantra, and the mantra is, I take back my divine and sacred right to abundance without limitation. I take back my divine sacred right to abundance and without limitations. So here's a mantra for you. It's a mantra that I'll be doing myself. And if you feel like doing it, guess what? See what happens when you say this mantra. Because a lot of us have been programmed, you know, to believe that we have to work so hard for everything, and then just live with just the bare minimum. It's okay because, yeah, as long as I have the minimum, I'm fine. And it's like, no, you know, you see nature, you get a, it's incredible how nature happens. You clip a little bit of a tree, and then you can make another tree out of that tree. And then you see, like, how, you know? You plant a potato, and one potato gives like 100 potatoes. It's like, that's the divine, you see, and we don't know that. What's wrong with us? So, yay. Yay to a new approach to the immensity of abundance. Creative inspiration. This is a fabulous time to just get and explore some art, some ideas, things that you never thought you would do. Like, get your little canvas. I don't know, take a course, go dancing, a creative project, collaborate with others. Like, lots of amazing things that you can do together with people. So I have an idea of a project I'll be doing with my peeps. So also playfulness, flirtation, this is a great time for that. Learning and expansion, also learning new things. Yes, because this is a really good time for learning also new things. This is also a good time where things, for example, like some legal battles that were going on, might have a good resolution, because of where the connection of Venus and Jupiter, and it's almost like the resolution, or the amicable resolution of issues and conflicts and legal battles through constructive dialogue, and that's really great right now. So it's good time for negotiating anything, so you can actually move on in peace. Yes, it's smooth conflict resolution. So if we need to resolve conflicts, this is the time. Now, why do I say this? Because that square to Pluto, that is like a forming square, that one is a little bit more tricky, because this is where we're going to see the dark side of how we've been relating to others. So we could be experiencing with that very intense relationship dynamics. So don't think that just because it's all, I mean, there's so many benefic aspects, but it's because it's right now it's easy to make those changes and transformations. So just take that leap and let it go. Because Pluto, not only Pluto is retrograding, and I want to do a whole thing about Pluto also retrograding because it's going to be retrograding for a little for a little while, and that little while might bring back again this old relationship dynamics of power, control, domination, you know, jealousy, possession. ah. um so lots of emotions, struggle in relationships, maybe hidden issues that we didn't know is they just pop up. All that resentments might come up, you know, that thing that you didn't say for like a long time and suddenly it just flares up. um so we need to examine how we have been dealing with relationships. Definitely maybe a revisiting of past relationships, um and past patterns around finances, about love, unresolved issues, you know, things that I thought like, oh, I dealt with that. Nope, haven't been dealt, comes up again. This helps us also transform our love life. But changes are absolutely necessary. We cannot be inauthentic in relationships. This is the time to be completely 100% raw and authentic. Otherwise, what can happen is that we might be encountering these very difficult situations with people, overpowering people, or we might just be facing control and manipulation. And control and manipulation is not like, oh, I'm being controlled and manipulated. We all control and manipulate something in our life. So it's like, look within where in your life you are still controlling and manipulating something out of fear. And I think I said this in previous videos. It could be me controlling, I don't know, the life of an ant or a mosquito, you know, or my cat or my dog. I don't know. I don't have a dog, so but maybe. So think about those unconscious ways that we use to control situations, people, and 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 looking at the nature of control as a beautiful opportunity to release it and know that there is nothing to control. Again, the divine does not control anything. The divine allows everything to exist. I know it's hard. I wish I could be more divine, but yay, we're human. Mm. But, you know, good news. We're humans in the process of bringing more of that divine consciousness so we can become a human race that is more divine, that is more just loving, that is more accepting of all that is, that doesn't need to control everything. It has to be this way, that way, because my parents did and my grandparents, da, 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 da. You know, just question everything. This is a really good time for questioning and allowing change to come, allowing new things, allowing the exploration of new possibilities, and not the old ways that are like gripping us again. That's part of that retrograde of Pluto. Then suddenly we fall back into those dynamics, and it's gonna happen. This is just part of the weather and of this eclipse weather. Uh, what comes out of this is definitely the healing and the growth. So although this might be very challenging, this can provide so much emotional healing, and particularly regarding self-worth and relationship dynamics. Ta-da! There you have it. Thank you, Pluto, for helping in our collective consciousness to heal those two things. Self-worth, which obviously is connected to finances. So self-worth is always connected to our material wealth and abundance. And the relationship dynamics, which is all Venus related topics. So good, good, good times to explore. So don't let this eclipse just get you in this like swarm and swirl, but come into it or into this energy with awareness and consciousness about these themes, self-worth and relationship dynamics. and power, control, and manipulation, and see where are you still carrying these themes in yourself, whether you can see it or not. If you can't see it, it will be shown to you. By who? By others. So this is also a time where we'll be testing the commitments, right? This is where we test the commitment. Um, and it is requiring a reevaluation of mutual goals, shared responsibilities. Like what is it to be in a relationship that wants to evolve in a positive way, positive, harmonious way? Because this is why these tests are coming with Pluto. And we might also feel an increased desire for more security. Um, Again, because it's like establishing a solid foundation. But where do we get security from? And this is the great question. Do we get security because our bank account has more money, or do we get security inside ourselves and therefore our bank account gets more money? And that is the whole topic, is that our security lies in ourselves, in our capacity to know that we are absolutely capable, that we all have gifts. Our gifts are unique to us. Every single person on this planet has a gift to give and share to the whole. And when we connect deeply to those gifts and love who we are, not because people are validating us, but because we love who we are, it's the true test of self love. And how better to test self love than with some nasty relationship dynamics that will still tell us you're not good enough, or you gotta do this, or you know? So it's not about rebelling and saying, "Meh, F you." No, it's about, oh my gosh, I love myself so much. I love my essence, and I want to share this essence to the world. And yes, if you're that, if you're there, kudos to you. Okay, what else? Oh my gosh, this is more things. I'm telling you, these things are gonna be all present. So, what else is sponsoring this eclipse? Saturn opposing Mercury. Dun dun dun. So my, ooh, this is where we can get a lot of the mental Debbie Downer. I'm not good enough. Yeah, of course, others can do better. Yeah. Or people put us down and don't let us express. It can be challenging because the negative thinking can begin, the criticism, the self-criticism, the feeling like completely misunderstood, or you want to maybe you have an idea and it's great and people go like, no, shut up. And you're like, and then you go, of course, I'm not good enough. My ideas suck. I suck. You know? So um so yes, this is when we want to be aware of what are our thoughts, because the inner judge will come out to say you are not doing things good enough, you of all people. And then people might actually, if you have negative self-talk, it can be coming from your own patterns of not feeling good enough. Like, oh, I always wanted to do something and finally you have something exciting you're trying, and then you're like, oh, this sucks. I'm not gonna share. This is horrible. Or it can come because you do something and you're really excited about the validation and you show it, and someone goes like, oh no, that sucks. And you're like, ugh. So and sometimes when you in oppositions, it is very often common to to have things come from the outside so you can see them more reflected, unless you're really aware of where in you have that feeling of not good enough, negative thoughts, negative thinking, criticism. And if you're projecting it on others as well, it's very possible that if you have that lack of self-worth, you might be also pointing like at others and saying you're not good enough, and projecting it on others. So beware of that. There might be also an issue between practicality and intuition. So how, like, Mercury and in Virgo, the practical mind needs to organize, to know everything. It needs to know everything, and sometimes we cannot know everything, especially with with the realm of all that is. is how do we know? We can't know. So it's about balancing maybe the intuitive things that are coming to you and bringing those intuitions into form in a very grounded manner. It's also about definitely overcoming self-doubt. This is a time where if you know deep down in your soul who you are, what you came here to do not doubt yourself because you know who you are. So just go with it. Don't let anything around you put you down if you know who you are and what you're here for. If you're still confused, you don't know who you are, spend some time looking for that. So this is a period for overcoming fear of failure and trusting one's ideas and plans. If you have something that's been really in your soul, please go ahead. Do not, because the paralysis by analysis is the of a Mercury in Virgo is like it's not perfect enough. It's not perfect enough. It's never gonna be good enough. So that like just never just let's not do it. It's too many details, too much to think about. You know what? Just go for it. Trust that you'll be guided. There might be also an internal struggle between the perfectionism of things that need to be perfect and the acceptance of the flow of life just flows and it's gonna be messy sometimes and it's okay, nothing can be absolutely perfect. So Virgos out there, please just get a little bit more chill, accept. Otherwise, if you're too tight, then you might never do what you really want to do, right? There might be delays in planning, with Saturn. There can be obstacles to all your fancy ideas and like your plans and lofty goals. And there might be some frustrations because you had an idea and it couldn't happen or something occurred. And then it's important at this time. And the reason why this happens is because if we get too carried away with dreams and ideas and stuff, we might miss details that are important to the implementation, the successful implementation of an idea comes with deep focus. So this is not the time to be like too broadening too much. And also because Saturn is kind of coming in and out of that square with Jupiter, where the big expansion with all the ideas and we need to do everything now and it has to be like that, like that is not going to serve us. So it's better to focus and narrow the focus a little bit more. That's an invitation of Saturn to narrow the focus so we can actually implement ideas in a realistic manner. And I will say this again and again and again, testing your ideas as well is important. Not go with the whole thing and then it won't work if you don't. So test the idea first and see if your idea could be implementable. So at this time, again, don't go with the whole thing and then you bought all the stuff and then your idea doesn't work. You just spend a bunch of money. I don't know. Just saying. Also learning to listen. That's also part of that. Sometimes if we're only focused on our own ideas, this is kind of the opposite. If you are the one that have the self-doubt about your idea, this is time to step up. If you're the one that is always putting all the ideas and doesn't let anybody else have a say, then this is the time where Saturn's going to go learn to listen to other people's ideas. They're here also to inspire you because we're bringing more collaboration. So everybody's ideas should count. And again, nobody needs to be left out. So we need to be flexible at this time. And otherwise Saturn will come and like squish your ideas. If you're the person who does not listen to other people's ideas ever, and only want your ideas to happen, this is when Saturn will go and your ideas might be completely squished at this time. So to avoid that, learn to accept and listen and see other people's ideas. They might be sources of great inspiration. Boundaries in communication. Another important aspect is we might need to set boundaries in our conversations, especially when it comes to sensitive topics, knowing when to speak and knowing when to be silent, because anything you say under a Mercury Saturn transit, your words will be long lasting. That's all I have to say. So if you just rashly put words out there, say things like mindlessly, well, that's where you're gonna be tweeted and retweeted on and on and on and on for all eternity. So be very mindful. Be the master of your silence or the slave of your words. So I hope in this video what I'm saying lasts for eternity with a positive impact. All right. Um, all right, what else? What else could we see in this eclipse? Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about. Um, okay. uh, Okay, let's share this again. Okay, here it is. Oh, well, we covered pretty much all the important things. Well, oh, I was forgetting a very important one. And I know Chiron is like a smaller asteroid, but Chiron has a big implication in the soul wound, right? And Chiron will be opposing Venus. So guess what? This is the absolute most fabulous time to look at where we disconnected completely from our self-worth, because our value, the love of self, the feminine in essence, because this is a time to reconnect to the feminine. And where did we give all our power away and to and cut ourselves from what we wanted to so deeply be in the world, which is the Chiron in Aries, is the feeling that I can't I can't go for what I want because whatever, I just can't go for what I want. So at this time it's like it's a beautiful opportunity to heal relationships, to heal our relationships with women, the feminine, mother lineages. So this is a really good time to look at that. And last but not least, we have Mars that is squaring basically the nodes, which actually have an impact in the eclipse, because the eclipse happens close. The eclipse is the full moon with the nodes. So this is a choice point. This is almost like a choice point for how we have exercised our will. Um, and this is like where the current actions are going to be conflicting your past actions, and the past traumas, or the things that happened to you might be conditioning your capacity to move forward. And because Mars is also hosting Chiron, and this is why I talk about the need to heal that part of where we were not able. So this is part of the masculine. You see, this is like both things come up for healing. um because there might be a conflict between the emotional reactions to past experiences that were affecting you and affected your progress, and the new ideas that you're so connected to that you have to do, but then those past actions or what happened before conditions the new path. So this is a time where you have this like, are you going to be like acting from all that past conditioning, or are you going to move forward with 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 courage? Because essentially Mars brings the energy of courage. And but it's courage without having to be brute, like, it's Cancer, right? It's a different, it's including a little bit of that feminine, of that I can go for what I want without having to fight for it so hard. And that's exactly what it means. We do not need to keep fighting to be able to exist and express joy and express who we are. It's not about fighting, right? Um, so it might be difficult to make new moves for a new path at this time, because there's that fear, so there might be beautiful opportunities presenting themselves and opening up, destiny going, go that, do that, go that way, follow this inspiration. And there might be this like, oh my God, but if I do this, then this is going to happen again. And this is what we're releasing. We're releasing this. This is going to happen again. That's the conditioning. So first release the conditioning so you can actually move with courage towards the new path. You can have emotional conflicts at this time as well. Family comes up a lot because these are things that came up with our early childhood. Family, mother, again, I say the mother lineage, the family, the home, right? So things around the home and around how we were brought up might come up to be resolved, because this is a crossroads. Right now we are in a big crossroads. If we're still doing our actions the through the patterning and through the conditioning, well, we're gonna move forward in a very limpy way, I would say. So the beautiful aspect about this Mars is that it will bring you the courage to confront the past. So if you are brave enough to go and see all those painful things, are like, I'm not gonna touch that, but you go, you know what, I'm gonna go touch it, especially related to home, family, early childhood. This is the time. And if you need help, look for a therapist or look for someone that can give you empathy, someone that can help you if you don't know what to do and you're like, yeah, but where do I start? You know what? Just, Google someone. I don't know. Ask your friends if they know someone, a professional that can help them. There's so many healers and fantastic therapists out there doing their mission of of holding space for all of us in this awakening. So yay. Or get an astrology reading. That always helps. I do a very intuitive kind of astrology, which is, I call it more holistic astrology. I look at many, many things. So please feel free to check in the description box below if you were needing some help and assistance with moving. I give many, many tools, not just a reading of this is who you are, this is your personality. I definitely will help you move with things, or at least give you some tools for you to deepen. So that's that. So yeah, and then there might be also this feeling that in this crossroads we might feel like there's a comfort zone, where we know it's better to go with what we know instead of the scary unknown. But this is that why it's a crossroads. We need to be brave at this time and go. The unknown path might be the one that's going to bring the most exciting, the most gifts, the most expansion. Staying with all the known and the comfort zone, that's where it's not going to help us move forward. And so it's very, very important to break free from old habits at this time. Yes, that's a big piece. So get rid of all those old habits. So there you have it. This was a long, extensive video, but I really wanted to touch on each of these archetypes, of each of the archetypes that are really hosting this eclipse, so that anything that's happening or has been happening, like in the past couple weeks, and the themes that will develop throughout the year are going to give you, this capacity to really, really reconnect to your purpose and soul mission here on the planet at this time of the planet, because that's what the planet is evolving towards. And and it's a choice. Like Mars, it's a choice. We have absolute free will to choose how we want to live and experience life. And I want you to, I mean, I invite you to consider all these things. And was a long video, so if you need to replay little segments or segment by segment, um, feel free to do so. But in essence, I think you got the gist of it. Stay grounded, no escapism. Relationship issues might come up really strongly to release, control, manipulation, and all of that juicy stuff. Uh, and there's going to be beautiful new opportunities, new friendships, and and the opportunity for really, really peaceful, and not peaceful, but easy conflict resolution at this time. So this is the time where we can negotiate anything at this time, because this is the time to negotiate. If it gets ugly, negotiate. Use the skills, and use the love and compassion, because we're all one in the end. We're all together here on this planet, and we want to make this planet and the expression of it through our connections with each other. So there you have it. So I hope everything I said about this eclipse helps you. And if you want a reading, feel free to look in the description box below, subscribe, share the video, and I will see you very soon with more exciting things. And it's my birthday right after the eclipse. So I'm like, oh my God, my solar return is gonna come with this. Oh. All right, much love to you, and blessings.